Hello, NFL fans, or at least theory fans of the NFL, whatever you are. Thanks for watching. If you are watching, I assume you are, but yeah, so today we're going to be talking about basically the whole quarterback situation going on in Chicago, specifically with the Bears, and specifically talking about Andy Dalton and the 11th round pick, Justin Fields. So, yeah, let's begin. So, for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who are slow, Justin Fields he is a quarterback. He played for Ohio State for 1 year. He took his team all the way to the championship where his team got defeated by Alabama. Obviously, Alabama are really good. They always get the best players. So yeah, but anyways, he got his team to the championship. He even beat Trevor Lawrence in the playoff to make it to the championship. So, good job for him being the quarterback that Ohio State needed. But anyways, he was going to the NFL draft, and he was gonna be drafted by the Niners most likely until he confessed to everybody that he had some sort of problem with, like, he had a type of medical problem. And as soon as he said that, or as soon as at least the NFL told everyone that, nobody wanted him, okay, except for the Bears. So in the draft, the big people went out: Trevor, then Zach, then Trey, then Kyle, then it just went on. Then after that, it was to the point where the Bears realized that once Justin was still on the board, that's when they traded up to the 10th pick. No, sorry, they traded up to the 11th pick so they could get him. And in the end, they got Justin Fields. Now you're probably thinking, hooray, good job for the Bears. They got a quarterback when they didn't have any, considering that Mitch Trubisky I believe he went to free agency and he went to the Buffalo Bills, so they barely have a quarterback. But the bad thing about this is weeks like 3 weeks prior to the NFL draft, Matt Nagy, he went on and got Andy Dalton, who signed a 1 year deal with the with the Cowboys beforehand, and before that he was a Bengal his whole career. So yeah, he went out and got Andy Dalton, and once he got Andy Dalton, he promised him the start. He said the reason Andy even decided to play for the Bears was because he knew he was going to get the start. There wasn't going to be any competition or anything like that, and Andy was like, okay, I'm ready to play. I'm gonna be the starter. I'm gonna be the future of this team. Let's get it going. And next thing you know, the Bears go ahead and draft Justin Fields. So watching the draft, Andy's probably a little mad because now nobody knows. No NFL analyzes this. No, now I don't even think the head coach Matt Nagy himself knows. Nobody knows who's gonna get the start in Week 1 for the Bears when they play against the Los Angeles Rams. So that's where we're gonna be diving into today. Also, mind you, that Nick Foles is also a QB there. You have Nick Foles, you have Nick, Justin, and Andy. But Nick Foles, he was kind of a bust last year. He played. Mitch started, then they put Nick in a couple games later, but Nick was so bad to the point where they had to bring Mitch back out, and we all know how Mitch plays, or at least how Mitch played this year. I can't believe he was a Pro Bowler before. But yeah, I don't really think Nick will be a big factor in this Bears offense this 2022 season, but who knows? So yeah, basically we're just gonna look at the stats of Andy and Justin, and we're gonna see who's better just based on what we've seen. And by that I mean Andy, we're gonna look at his stats with the Cowboys, and we're gonna look at Justin's stats from 2019 with 2019, 2020, mostly 2020 with the Ohio State Buckeyes, because you have to look at how they did the previous year, and depending on that will depend on how they might look or how they might act and play this year. So let's see. So in the 2020 season, Justin Fields has had a total of 158 pass completions of 225 attempts, which I would say is an okay. It's pretty okay. His pass percentage rate was 70.2. He's had a total of 2,100 yards, and he's had 22 touchdowns and has thrown 6 interceptions. I'm not going to say that is pretty good, honestly. He's not like that good like Trevor top, like the best, and but at the same time he's not that bad like Drew Lock or something like that. He's like an okay. He's a if I'm being honest, he's a above average QB, honestly. Now we have Andy Dalton, and his stats from the 2020 season to the 2021 season was he had a total of 216 pass completions for a total of 333 attempts, which is a meh, not really. It's more closer to not that good than really good, but it is what it is, which led to his completion percentage being 64.9, which is like a D, so yeah, not that great. But he had a total of 2,169 yards in total with an average of 6.5. He had 14 touchdowns but has thrown 8 interceptions, and his rating per se is 87.3, while Justin Fields' rating, I don't think I said that, but his rating was a 175.6. But mind you, college football is much more crazier, much more active. More things that would have happened in the NFL would happen in college football. And at the same time, Justin Fields was with a really, really good team. While Andy Dalton, he had the worst defense, even though that doesn't really have to do with him, but he wasn't really on a good team. He did, however, have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper, so at least that's kind of why I think he has 2,000 yards at most. But that doesn't make up for the fact that 34% of his completions were incomplete. I do not think that CD or Amari or Gallup would literally drop a ball like that. So most likely he has thrown some very bad throws. So now looking at these two, who do we see as the better option? Well, honestly, if I'm being honest, I think that Matt Nagy honestly lied to Andy Dalton. I think Justin Fields is going to get the start. Well, not for. I think that Andy will be the start for like 2-3 games, but I think Justin will take over for the rest of the season. I mean, you wouldn't just draft a new QB if you actually had trust in the QB that you had just brought in. So I really think that Justin Fields is going to do amazing with the Bears, because the Bears, they have a good defense. They have some good players on offense, especially number 12, Allen Robinson. But yeah, Andy Dalton, we all know that he's not that good. We know Justin's gonna be a future star, future face of the NFL. So yeah, I think that Matt Nagy realized that, and he went on and drafted his new QBs. So in the end, to conclude this theory, Matt Nagy kind of lied to Andy, and even though Andy will probably get the start, I don't think he's going to be the future of this Bears offense or of this Bears team at all. I won't see him starting all 16 games. I could see Justin taking over by like week 4, week 5. But yeah, that's what I have to say on this topic. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you like these type of videos. We're gonna hopefully get them out on time by 5 o'clock every single day. But yeah, thanks for watching if you did, and I will see you guys in the next video.